begin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the newly renovated Van Cortlandt room. It's brighter, right? Okay. It's definitely, I've heard some positive feedback, so I appreciate that. I've heard some negative feedback too, and anything with decorations, really, I mean, you're never, when you're talking about carpeting and paint colors, you're never gonna please everybody 100% of the time, so I'm aware of that. Anyway, we're gonna start, Mr. Sakowitz wanted to speak briefly about the resident appreciation. You wanna hold it, or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll put it in there. Thank you, Paula. I thought to give you an update on the Residents Appreciation Fund. So far, of 188 residents, we've heard from 120 of you, so that's about 2/3 of you. But of course, that does leave about 1/3 of you, about 1 out of every 3 that still have not heard from you. For those of you who have not yet responded, you should have found in your in-house mailbox a friendly reminder that the time is running short. We do need enough time just before Thanksgiving in order to assemble all of the facts and figures about which employees are eligible for a gift from you, the total number of hours, and just how much we have in order to distribute. So for those who have still been dragging their feet about making a contribution to the fund, as I said, you have received a reminder. Something new this year that I've tried is to include an envelope. So in case that you just feel uncomfortable writing a check and putting it naked into the box, the locked box, now you can cover up for your check before you insert it into it. I understand that, of course, some people are relatively new to Beverwick. They've only moved in within the past year, and they kind of wonder what might be an appropriate amount. So make it easy on yourself. I mean, when you moved into your apartment, it was clean. There was somebody around who was going to take away all the garbage, all the packaging and material. People have been working for you from day one. So if you haven't been here for a whole year, think about $1, $1. Oh, here it is. $1. $1 per day for every day that you have lived at Beverwick. If you are a new resident, you haven't been here for the full time. We're coming short. As I said, we need time in order to assemble all of the facts and figures. I have to cut off just before Thanksgiving, because all of those checks have to be written, they have to be double checked, etc. It's not an automated process, it's all hand done. Coming Thanksgiving, you know, pretty much many of us are going to be assembled around the table, and somebody's always going to be saying at that table, hey, why don't we go around and give thanks to what we have today? Everybody go around. And so I ask you, when that time comes around in your family with the group that you are with celebrating Thanksgiving, think about 2 things. Think about, first of all, that every one of us is an American. We have a Social Security card. Very many of us have an American passport. Do you know how many people in this world desperately want to have those items? And secondly, give thanks for the fact that you are living here in Beverwick. And there's more than 100 people. Some you see every day, some are very much hidden. But they're all here to take care of you. Give thanks for those when comes Thanksgiving Day. Thank you, Paul.
Wait, before he goes, I just want everybody to thank Albert for being our head of our hiking committee. He started it.
Even if you don't go on the
He's
hike.
a great tour guide. Even if you don't go, but if you want to go, he's just done a great job. We can't do it without him. I'm sorry, how to get that in now? I was just feeling that. Okay, why am I here? They're like, uh-oh. Well, just a reminder, tomorrow is our assessment day, and most of you I've talked to, and a lot of people have signed up, but if you still want to do it and you just want to get an assessment, there is still time, like tonight and tomorrow. But we do have openings, so just contact me if you're interested. If not, I'll get you sometime down the road. All right. I am here because I came up with an idea, well, actually, I didn't come up with it, but I was given a challenge for the dining team, and on that challenge was to do acts of kindness. And that was the dining committee that I work with on a daily basis. So in that note, I kind of started thinking about it, and then I realized that there is an actual random acts of kindness day. It's actually celebrated in February, but we're going to celebrate it November 1st and start a new trend. The reason I want to do acts of kindness, and I want to keep it to our Beverwick community, because there's so many people that need acts of kindness, including yourselves and each other. And so what we'd like to do is we are going to have ideas for random acts of kindness. If you have your own, that's great. But our goal is to try to get every resident here, can you imagine, all of us, doing one act of kindness for someone else here. Some people have asked me about the terrace and nursing home, which I would absolutely love as well. But kindness, to me, when you help others, you feel better. I don't know about you, but I do. And there are people here that need more acts of kindness probably than some, but I really feel that everyone deserves and needs something. I know it's random acts of kindness, and you can do random acts of kindness, but we're also gonna give people ideas. There's no money involved, but what I want you to do is just think of ways to reach out to someone that you're thinking about in many different ways. I got our art committee. I threw Phyllis Burrell under the bus, of course, and then Audrey Sturman under the bus. And then I've got a little beautiful kindness committee that are helping me create leaves with ideas for a tree we're gonna make in the lounge. And it will be done by next week, but on November 1st is next Wednesday. And that will be the day that we're gonna ask each one of you to do a random act of kindness for someone else here. It doesn't matter who it is. But I just want a couple of things. It brings a sense of belonging and reduces isolation. It helps to keep things in perspective. Does everybody understand what that means? Like keeping things in perspective, our own problems and everything we have. But reaching out to somebody else just feels good, and it reminds us of put our lives in perspective as well. It's contagious. I want to make it fun. I don't want to make it stressed. I'm not adding a burden to your to-do list. I want you to do it because it feels good and it's good for you. And remember, the more you do for others, the more you do for yourself. So you're being a little selfish in the cause. I will be sending out a memo, because I know not everybody's here, explaining the Random Acts of Kindness Day, but that's kind of why I wanted to start it, and just talking about it makes me feel really good. It just does. So to all of you, you mean a lot to me, and there's a lot of people here that aren't at this meeting today, but boy, they could use it. So it doesn't matter who you pick. If you have ideas, you want to ask me anything, just let me know. And again, I'll send out a memo. But start thinking, I know, Random Acts of Kindness, November 1st. What day is it?
November 1st.
Put it on your calendar. Even if you're not here, you got to do something. You can't have somebody else do it, though. You got to do it. All right? Okay. Thanks, guys.
Ashley, want to go?
Hi, Hi, everyone. So I am here today to talk about transportation. A couple of things before that, though. I just wanted to mention we have the haunted house this Friday at the Terrace Community Room. So from 3 to 4:30. So I invite anybody to come, bring your families. It's open to residents, families, and employees as well. So, yes. And I also wanted to mention trivia for tonight is going to be rescheduled to November 1st. Just wanted to let everybody know because that was a last minute change, so. Alrighty. Transportation. So with transportation, when you put in a request at the front desk with Kaylee, we have 48 hours, whether if it's on a weekend, 48 hours weekday to respond to that transportation request. I know that, if it's last minute or something, we have those 2 days to get back to you. But what I do want to say with any add-ons, with those 2 days that we return the response back to you, we ask for 2 days in advance of the appointment. So those add-ons, the last minute ones, we can try our best to, fit you in, but we do need that 2 days notice to make sure that we have, the staffing and the availability for that appointment. Any sedations that might require a driver that where the doctor is asking you to have a driver stay with you, those are needed where you might need to reach out to an aide, a family member, or a friend. Our drivers are responsible for just pick up and drop off for everybody. So the expectation is that everybody can ambulate independently when using our transportation services. Anytime there was a missed bus, so if we have a trip and you missed the bus, we are not able to turn around and come and pick you up. So we have a specific time that we are leaving, and we have a specific schedule for the driver, so we have to maintain those times. Also, our last pickup for the day, so picking up from the doctor's appointment, would be at 4:30. So if your doctor's appointment goes past 4:30, there will be an instance where you might need to call for a taxi or an Uber or something like that. We don't necessarily take appointments past 3:30 to kind of be mindful of that 4:30, pickup time. All right, any questions? Did I miss anything? I think I covered everything. Does anybody have any questions regarding transportation?
What's the earliest time, the earliest time?
So that's a good question. So the earliest pickup time would be 8 a.m. Yes. So that would mean like your appointment would be for 8:30, if the way that breakdown is, because we give about a half hour pickup and drop off. Alrighty, thank you.
And then I did want to have Corey come up and give a presentation on Wi-Fi and internet speeds, and just to kind of update, because I think there's a lot of maybe misconceptions out there. But we do periodic speed testing and testing to make sure that things are as fast as they need to be. If you're experiencing otherwise, please let us know. I know we had there was an activity here about AI and art, and I know the presenter was experiencing some issues, which ended up being on his end, not our end. However, the consensus among the crowd that was in here was that, oh yes, Beverwyck has internet issues, and we worked hard to try and make sure we don't have internet issues. So again, if you're having trouble downloading anything, things are buffering, you can't stream, please let us know. We certainly want to know about it. But we just wanted to give some education about internet speeds and what they should be and what they need to be.
There you go.
Okay, Paula did it all. Any
Yes.
questions? I'm gonna, perfect, well, now I'm blocking all them from seeing. All right, so, how many of you have seen the Spectrum commercials? Fastest internet speed out there, 200 megabytes per second. Who here needs 200 megabytes per second? See, none of you raised your hands. Our internet's fine. So basically, and there's a couple of articles, this obviously has come more to the forefront with the idea of when we change over the TV, you'll no longer be able to use Spectrum Internet. So I know I have had people contacting me about, I need Spectrum, it's faster, it's, safer, it's all that. So, which I sent out, I found a couple of really good articles out there. And I'm gonna try to keep this brief because it is town meeting, because I could probably do a whole class on this. But so basically understanding, because when you hear the internet speed, you don't really, we all understand 55 miles per hour, how fast that is. Or some of you have driven behind 30 miles per hour, but, so understanding internet speed. So it's given out in megabits or millions of bits per second. That's that Mbps that you'll often see. And that's the speed you need to read an email, stream of music, play an online game, even if it's just solitaire or backgammon, or stream a movie. Your bandwidth is a little bit different. It's related to the speed, but it's the amount you share within a whole household. So obviously we are one big household when it comes to the EdiRes and what we're sharing on our bandwidth. So the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, defines anything faster than 25 megabytes per second as advanced service. The FCC considers that to be good, fast speed. Kind of a far reach from that Spectrum 200 megabytes per second that they say you need. And there is work, and you can find articles on it, there is work within Congress to push that up to 100 megabytes per second being the average advanced speed that we need to get. And I'm sure we'll get there. As more and more things become digital, online, more streaming, we will need, as a society, that faster speed. So what is considered a good internet speed? Basically from 0 to 5 megabytes per second, you can check email, you can stream music. If you're a Pandora or an Amazon music streamer, you can search on Google. From 5 to 40 megabytes, you can stream a video on one device in your house. You can video call, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, online gaming for one player. From 40 to 100, you can stream a high-def video on a couple of devices at the same time. Multiplayer online gaming, which I don't think many of you are probably doing that. Maybe you're into Roblox or Fortnite or any of those, probably not. Downloading large files. And then 100 to 500 megabytes per second, that's for ultra high def videos, that 4K, that 8K that's gonna be coming out in the future, downloading files quickly, online gaming with multiple players. So if you're somebody who's doing online gaming with people all over the country, you're gonna want that faster speed. I don't think many of our residents at any of our communities are doing that. Steve did some speed tests for us. Some were very spotty still in some areas of the building. So that's why we asked him to do the speed. That's why Paula asked you all, if you're still having issues, to let us know. But on average, we're running mid 40s to low 50s. Plenty fast enough to stream. As an example, to stream a Netflix movie or an Amazon movie, 5 megabytes per second. That's all you need to have in your apartment. So if you're having problems, and most of you are gonna see it if you're streaming things, that's where you're gonna see it. If you question how much speed you need, this is a great site. I can send anybody the link. Basically, you go through, it asks you if you're residential or business, you go through and you answer some simple questions. How many people in your household are on the internet at the same time? And I did this based on kind of the average, I think here, or at any 1 to 2. How many devices in your home connect to the internet? You have to think of your iPads, your tablets, your TVs, any smart bulbs, your Alexas or your Google Home devices.
7 to 9, I think most people here on average. How many people in your household work from home? On average, most none, but you may have one. What video quality to use? Most of us are only using HD. Very few are doing 4K. How intensely does your household participate in online gaming? Casual, right? Most of when I go to help, it's the jigsaw puzzles, it's solitaire, maybe a backgammon. So it's very casual. Does your household download? Yes, occasionally, maybe. You may get a huge video file from a family member or photos, things like that. So based on those answers, 40 megabytes per second, which we are reaching, and I would say 90% of the building. So if you're having problems, please let us know so we can look into it. Not me personally, because I don't do the real big network stuff, but. Any questions? Yes.
Any idea about how many megabytes per second you're receiving in the cottages?
I think it was around the same, wasn't it? I think he got in that mid 40s, high 50s.
Some are higher than that, maybe.
Some are in the 80s,
70.
maybe 70 to 80, yeah. Yes.
To avoid confusion, the unit is megabits per second, megabytes per
Well,
second.
right,
is
yes,
times
sorry.
Bigger.
Right, megabits
Okay.
per second, yes. I was talking fast because it's a town meeting and I'm one little portion.
Would cause some confusion.
Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
What about in this room? This room was, I think, 80s, it was.
Around the 80.
60s to 80s.
Yeah. And you have to remember, when you do a speed test, it's a snapshot in time. So you could wait 2 minutes and do it again, and it could be higher or it could be lower. So we're trying to just get averages, so. Anything else? Okay.
Thanks, Corey.
Corey, since you're up here on our favorite topic, Spectrum,
Yes, nothing, no date.
no updates, correct?
The latest is, the device is in New York State, Spectrum has no idea how to ship things, so. So Paul and I are gonna do a road trip and go find it. I'll come over.
If you have been receiving any letters that you need to return your equipment, please let us know. We will contact them individually, but nobody has to return their equipment at this point. And again, you know, we've learned obviously one department at Spectrum does not talk to the other department at Spectrum, so, yeah, but we don't have any updates on that. So for our renovation updates, we have the Van Cortlandt room is done. They've started in the dining room as of today to phase off portions of the dining room, so they're putting up temporary walls as we speak, right now on the shelf area. Does everyone know what I mean by shelf area? Okay, good. So seating that will be available will be in the main dining room area and then the south dining room. And then they moved all the tables today and they really only lost 4 seats from where we were, as opposed to last week. So hopefully, and I know even, you know, last week some of the seating was challenging at times, but we were anticipating that we were gonna lose about 12 seats, and we only ended up losing 4. It is a little bit tighter, we did move some tables together, so walkers, you know, will have to come out of the dining room area, because there won't be enough room with walkers to get in between the tables. So that will be, you know, I think the next probably 3 weeks. Then the next phase that they're gonna move on to will be the south dining room area. And then the last one will be the main dining room piece. All said and done, it should be completed by the end of December. Now, please use these dates loosely. So the end of December is the plan now. As far as when the library will be back, as of the last meeting, it was around Thanksgiving is when we should have that space available. The bistro menu went out today.
Very good.
Okay, so, and again, all of these are works in progress, so, you know, if we need to, we can adjust those menus. But the bistro menu did go out, and they can start using that. The pizza oven will be operational too, so I think that's on the menu, right?
Yes.
Good, good. So the furniture in the common areas, so right now, the dates are December 20, no, did that get pushed back?
Yeah.
January. So that got pushed back this week, January and February, end of January, beginning of February. But that's okay because, you know, we haven't, some of the furniture in the common areas and in the corridors, we have kind of gotten rid of. We've donated some to Habitat for Humanity. But as far as when we do the dining room, we're not getting rid of anything at the moment. So all the old will go back in until we get the new. So we'll continue to do that until we get the new furniture. That's all I have on renovations. Does anybody have any specific questions for me? Did you have a-
This is not related to the dining room,
Yep.
but I live in the south, and
Mhm.
yesterday, or a few days ago, my shelf, all our shelves were painted finally.
Mhm.
This morning I found a package on my shelf, it was the first thing that was put there. Took package off, and there's a black mark underneath. And the reason being is they painted the shelves a flat finish, even
Mhm.
though the molding above it is a semi-gloss. So
Okay.
I think that's a problem, to have a flat finish is not gonna be very durable.
Okay. The question or the comment was, the shelves are in the process of being painted, but they're using a flat paint rather
Yeah,
than.
the finish are hall, I believe.
Yep. I can bring it up with them.
Yeah, I should have black.
Yeah. Yes.
When is the exercise room gonna be ready?
So, I don't know, I can look at the timing for that. We did ask about the library, so I'm assuming about the same time. So we should be able to use that area, cause it's all kind of one in there. So that would be my guess. That was the exercise room, in case you couldn't, hear the question.
And the coffee room?
The coffee nook was I think it was a little bit later, but within the same, probably 2-week period after that, that will be open. Yes,
Is PNR gonna have an office in that area?
yes, so, the question is therapy gonna have an office in that area? So that is the intent. We have clinical space in there. Right now, we can have therapy in there. If that should change, that's our space. We can do with it what we want. But yes, it's small. They're small areas, but it will be in between the library. It goes the library, 2 small little office areas, one kind of for somebody to be receptionist, checking people in type of thing and doing paperwork, and then one is a treatment room. And then, on the other side of that will be the exercise studio. Yes.
So, will any of those rooms be private as the one is now?
For therapy, do you mean?
Yeah, some people don't want, an audience.
Yes, yeah, they're 2 separate areas. Yeah, it'll be private spaces. Yep. Any other questions on renovations? It will end one day, I promise. I promise. COVID clinic, so, as of right now, I believe the scheduled date is gonna be October 25th to do the COVID clinic. When they came to do the flu clinic, they did not get their COVID vaccines in time. So Sue Lover's working out the details as we speak, so she'll send out notification. Yes, so it's quick. They were just waiting, they've just been waiting to get it, and now that they have it, they wanna get it out quickly, so. But she will send out separate notification on that once we have all the details.
And they're doing the RSV?
Yes,
vaccination?
so at that clinic, also RSV vaccinations will be available. We have been told by the pharmacist that it is okay to give both at the same time, if you wish to get them. COVID update, so COVID is on the rise a little bit, so we have 2 positive cases here in IL. We have a positive case in the nursing home. I don't believe we have any staff at this point. Yep, that's true. Yes, I forgot, thank you. So 1 staff member, 2 residents here, and 1 resident in the nursing home, that's all been within this week. So again, if you're feeling ill, just as a reminder, please, refrain from eating in the dining room, wear a mask when you're out in public. And just to go over the protocols, just so everybody has it, so if you have COVID, you need to stay isolated in your cottage, in your apartment for a 5-day period. On day 6, if symptoms are subsiding, you can come out, but still need to stay masked until day 10. If you've had an exposure, there is no isolation that is required. However, a mask is required to be worn when out in public for 10 days. So that would exclude being able to use the dining room for that 10-day period.
And one should test oneself, right?
Yeah, so the recommending testing cadence that we have, and actually what we're required to do in the nursing home and the terrace in our regulated settings, is day 3, 5, and 7. We have to test people after an exposure. So that's the recommending testing cadence.
And are the government freebies still available,
Test?
Yes.
Yeah, so the question was, are the government free tests available? They are. I don't have the website, we could certainly put it up, but if I ordered them, I just got them to my house, I think this week. So it is still available. I got 2 boxes which had 2 test kits in each, so. All right, I don't remember, maybe 3 weeks from the time I got it, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so we still have some maintenance things that we discussed either at the last meeting or the meeting before that are still out there. Generators, I don't have an update for you. I know we've received the study from the engineer and his recommendations, but I don't have that yet. That's gone to Mike McDonough and that group. So hopefully, I have that for you, even if we have it before the next town meeting. I think there's enough interest in the topic. Maybe we'll have a separate meeting to discuss that. So hopefully to have more news on that soon. The detention basin, that's been added to part of our renovation, this renovation project. So we're still just waiting to get the plans for that and for them to price that out. The erosion study that was done, as far as, things that we have to remove from that hillside where we had been dumping, lawn clippings, there was some asphalt in there, so it's still going back and forth with the town, the engineer, and us as to what the remedy is going to be. So nothing new from the last meeting. We did have the person that was in here to clean the dryer vents. We also had them look at some of the ducts that we had within the building, and just looking at to assess it to see if any further cleaning was needed. He did look at a few around the area, did not find any issue other than cleaning the grates, dusty, and cleaning out what he could, but did not see any mold, anything like that needed further cleaning. So that was kind of the outstanding maintenance things. Any questions on those? I don't have a lot of answers, but just letting you know we're still working on them. Okay.
There's a question back here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Were those dryer vents supposed to be just for the ones, for the big laundries or for the individual apartments as well?
I believe it was at least the big laundries, but I can find out what the plan is, and I don't know that they've completed all the work. So the other thing I wanted to announce that we are gonna be doing paving in the west parking lot and the south parking lot. Our schedule right now, and this is all weather dependent, is it's gonna begin on October 28th, which is a Saturday. So the 28th and 29th is when they're gonna be, I guess, grinding up the parking lots. And then the 30th and 31st is when they're gonna be paving those parking lots. So we're gonna put out a more detailed memo, but I just wanna give everybody a heads up that obviously cars in those parking lots are gonna need to be moved. either to the main parking lot up here, to the north parking lot. If you need additional spaces at the terrace, you know, we could use those spaces if you need transportation to get back. Certainly, we could call security. But it is gonna start on that Saturday morning, so when we put out the memo, we are gonna ask everybody to move their cars by Friday, you know, afternoon. Yes,
When they do the south parking lot, will there still be access to the garages?
no. So, the question was, when they do the south parking lot, can you still access the garage? You won't be able to. So it'll be all in front of the garages there where you can park in the south, cause it has been paved, separate from the other portions of the parking lot, will be in the very back that outlines along, kind of along where the gardens are. That area is not gonna be paved, so where the lamp posts are and back is good, so there will be some parking in there, that's maybe, I don't know, 10 spaces. So we can utilize those, but again, we are gonna send out a detailed memo, but just wanted to give you a heads up. Yes,
Yeah, there's quite a few potholes as you leave the south parking lot, I think 3 or 4 of them. Is that gonna be part of the paving?
yeah, the question was, there's quite a few potholes as you leave the south parking lot, and yes, that'll be part of the paving, so it'll be west, that whole road area and south parking lot, so that it's all included in there. Yes,
How about the sidewalk work that they were gonna do?
sidewalk, I do not have an update on, but I know that we had somebody that's gonna come and grind them down, but I don't have a schedule.
The places in-
Yep, there's places where it heaves up.
Paula, what
Yes.
about those 2 big dumpsters in the south?
So one of the dumpsters will be moved. The other dumpster that's kind of in the back where we're not gonna be paving, they can't move it. That is filled with all types of lighting supplies that are gonna be used as the project continues. So we did just find that out today. The other dumpster will be moved by them, yeah. So, and again, this is all weather dependent. If it rains one of those days, they're supposed to pave, it may get pushed back. But, you know, we'll work around it as best we can. And again, like I said, we'll send out detailed information. And I think that's all. Oh, just other updates are occupancy updates. We are 96% occupied here at Independent Living, 98% at the Terrace, and then 100% at the nursing home. So, you know, great job. We maintain a good occupancy level. Yes.
When they're doing the paving, there's a very far end of the south, right by my apartment.
Yes.
It's very steep entry into the building.
Yes, you mentioned that. Yep.
And during the same period, are they going to be putting in a railing like they talked about?
It won't be as part of the paving project, but that would be something separate. But you did mention that last meeting, I know. So.
Before the winter?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Our comment cards from last time, so again, thank you for your positive comments. We had 30 positive since the last meeting for a total of 563 positive comment cards, so that's great. Negative comments, we've had 9 since the last meeting. Most of them are related to a particular meal that night, you know, so some very specific things, which are still important. It's good feedback that we have that, but it's nice to have that 30 positive versus the 9 negative. So our employees that were recognized this month and received their free meal. In maintenance, we have Jamie, Frank, Rigo, Dave, and Mike. Administration, it was myself and Kaylee. Wellness was Carly. Dining was Nina and Len. And housekeeping was Alvina and Shruta. So thank you again, well deserved on all of these employees' part, so keep them coming. Anything on any other topics anyone wanted to bring up? Yes?
Yeah, I wanna know why, when I make a call on my Beverly phone outside of Beverly, the ID turns up as Trinity Health still. People don't answer because they don't know
So the question is about caller IDs on the phone coming up as Trinity Health. We haven't had any updates. It's not supposed to be that way permanently,
Well, it's been
but we
that way
haven't
a
had
long
it,
time.
I know it's been up for a couple of months that way, so. I
I said
haven't-
after phase 2, right? It was supposed to change over.
Oh, you
They
know.
haven't done phase 2 yet.
When
Okay,
are they gonna do it? I mean, it's very upsetting. I'm not making any calls from there anymore, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's affecting all of our communities. It happens at all of them.
Well, I don't care.
No, I know. No, I know. But I'm just saying, it's not just Beverwick. It is all of them, so.
yes,
With regards to that, some people aren't answering the phone.
that's what she was saying, that if it, the caller ID comes up Trinity Health and then the phone's not being answered. So I guess I would communicate that to those you call frequently and let them know answer, it's you. And we'll try and find out more when phase 2 is gonna start.
But at least one person picked up because they thought it was their doctor's office.
Oh. Well, there you go, if you wanna start giving medical advice if they pick up. Yes,
Well, I have a question about maintenance staffing.
yep,
I think it's great that Tim has been hired, so I'm hoping that's working well. But I'm just wondering, maintenance seems to be, I think there are probably a lot of demands on them, both out on the grounds and inside. Are we where we should be with staffing, or is there a possibility of hiring another person?
so the question is about maintenance staffing and where are we with that? So right now, we do have an open position that we are actively trying to fill, one full-time person. And certainly we've missed having that person. That position has been vacant, I don't know, at least 4 months, maybe longer. And we really have not, we've had some applicant flow, but not qualified applicants. So we're trying to look at different ways, get creative on how we can attract new people, but yes, we are trying to hire one additional person. Yep. Yes,
I'm concerned, or I'm confused about the Dress Down Friday.
oh, yep, I forgot to mention it, I'm glad you brought it up,
I
okay?
don't know where that came from, to whom does it apply?
Mhm.
And if it's just, if it's the service, the dining room, I think that's a mistake.
Mm-hmm. So the question was about Dress Down Friday, so we did put out a memo about, we had a leadership meeting. It was brought up as, an employee retention, employee satisfaction effort, to have Dress Down Fridays. It's done at a lot of places. Who it applies to, we did specifically mention security. Obviously, security needs to stay in a uniform that's safe for you, that's safe for them. They're easily identified. I did speak with dining this morning because they were not at that meeting and wanted to know what their thoughts are about the dining staff. I believe we're gonna tend in, head towards the direction of dining staff maintains their uniforms. Matt also did mention at that time that he does have polos for all the dining staff if they wanted to use that, and then maybe on Friday, that's kind of their dress down. It's a polo rather than a button-down shirt. But other than that, it would apply to the other staff, it would apply to us here, reception.
So it would apply to maintenance?
Maintenance, I don't believe it would, and are they wearing jeans now? I mean, I think sometimes maintenance is wearing jeans either. Maintenance, I don't think they'd want to, because I don't think they wanna get there, if they're, certainly the painter doesn't wanna wear his own pants to be painting, I think, rather wear a uniform form that we replace. But they are somewhat dressed down already.
Well, yeah, it's easier to identify them because they're
Mhm.
all in gray.
Yeah, yeah, so they would continue to wear the same shirts. We were thinking more the, like jeans, if they wanted to wear jeans. Yeah, but the shirts they would continue to wear. Yep. Yes.
My question was, the maintenance person you're looking for, are there any particular skills that or is it a general maintenance person?
So the question was, what type of skills are we looking for when recruiting for maintenance? There is to have some general maintenance experience. I mean, a lot of the applicants we're getting in have like no maintenance experience. It might be, you know, like a cashier or something like that. We don't, I mean, we would do a certain degree of training, and not everybody who has to come in here has to be trained in HVAC repair or anything like that. We're not expecting that, but yet definitely some general ability. Yeah. Any other questions? We ready for a joke already? All right. All right, so my 85-year-old grandfather was rushed to the hospital with a possible concussion. The doctor asked him a series of questions. Do you know where you are? I'm at Rex Hospital, he said. What city are you in? Raleigh, he said. Do you know who I am? Dr. Hamilton, her grandfather said. Then turned to the nurse and said, I hope he doesn't ask me any more questions. Why, said the nurse, because all of those answers were on his badge. Thank you guys, have a good afternoon.